Let's get right into it. Number 10. The sleepless moon. You know those nights when you're just lying there, staring at the ceiling, wondering if your brain's buffering. You've had a long day. You're exhausted. You've done your skincare routine like a responsible adult, and yet your body decides, nah, let's stay up and rethink every embarrassing thing you've ever said since age 7. Congratulations, you might be a victim of lunar insomnia. Scientists have actually found that during a full moon, people tend to sleep about 20 minutes less and take longer to fall asleep. You don't even have to see the moon. It's like your brain just knows. Maybe it's some deep ancestral instinct left over from when cavemen needed to stay alert because predators could see them better under bright moonlight. Or maybe your brain's just being dramatic because it's shiny outside. The real kicker? This effect still happens in people living in sealed-off apartments with blackout curtains. That's right. Even when the moon isn't visibly messing with you, it's energetically messing with you. Like some cosmic landlord tapping your circadian rhythm on the shoulder, whispering, "You up?" Your melatonin, the sleepy time hormone, drops for reasons no one fully understands. Your internal clock starts freestyling. Suddenly it's 3 a.m., and you're watching raccoon cooking videos and wondering if they'd make good roommates. Basically, your body still thinks it's living in a prehistoric campsite under a giant silver spotlight. The moon shows up, and your biology goes, alert mode, on. Evolution never updated the firmware. So if you ever find yourself wide awake during a full moon, don't panic. It's not your caffeine addiction. Well, not only that. It's just your 200,000-year-old DNA saying, this is no time for sleep, human. There might be wolves. Number 9. The lunatic effect. You've probably heard someone say, people act weird when there's a full moon. Nurses, cops, teachers, they all swear by it. ERs get busier, tempers flare, weird stuff happens. It's such a universal belief that the word lunatic literally comes from luna, Latin for moon. Now, here's where things get creepy. Even though most studies say the full moon doesn't statistically increase crime or chaos, it somehow still does. Like, numbers say no, but human experience screams, absolutely yes. During a full moon, some studies find small but real spikes in hospital admissions for psych episodes, aggression, and even animal attacks. There's also the lunar effect in psychiatry, where patients with bipolar disorder or schizophrenia show more agitation during full moons. Scientists hate it because it sounds like astrology's trying to sneak back into the lab wearing a fake mustache. But think about it. If the moon can move oceans, what makes you think your brain, a squishy sack of salty water, is totally immune? Your skull is basically a tiny Earth with its own tides. When the moon pulls, maybe it stirs something deep in there, chemical tides, electrical surges, a little extra weirdness. It's not magic. It's magnetism meets moisture. You're basically 60% ocean pretending to have Wi-Fi. So the next time someone loses it during a full moon, don't roll your eyes. They might just be experiencing a lunar software glitch. Humanity's oldest satellite pinged their brain, and the system crashed. Number 8. The reproductive riddle. Here's a fun, uncomfortable fact. The moon has been micromanaging our love lives since before Tinder. Throughout history, cultures noticed something uncanny. The average menstrual cycle is about 29. 5 days, the same as the lunar month. Coincidence? Possibly. Creepy? Definitely. Ancient societies didn't have period tracking apps, but they did have eyes. and they noticed that women's fertility seemed to rise and fall with the moon. Some even believed conception was more likely under certain moon phases. The ancient Greeks worshipped Artemis, goddess of the moon and childbirth. The Romans did it too, because apparently everyone's uterus had a subscription to lunar notifications. Modern science says there might be some truth to it. A 2019 study found that women living in natural light cycles, like, before TikTok glow rings, sometimes ovulate around the full moon and menstruate around the new moon, syncing to the lunar rhythm like wireless Bluetooth devices. The moon doesn't just mess with sleep and sanity. It's been gently DJing humanity's reproduction playlist for thousands of years. It's like a silent, glowing fertility coach in the sky, whispering, "You're ovulating, Janet." Of course, now that we live surrounded by artificial lights and screen glare, those natural cycles are scrambled. The moon's still trying to control the vibe, but we've basically ghosted it. Still, there's something hauntingly poetic about it, that every human alive today is technically the descendant of people whose ancestors once conceived under that same glowing disk. So, if you've ever blamed your mood swings on the moon, congratulations. You're just continuing a biological partnership older than civilization. Number 7. The emotional tides. You know how the ocean rises and falls because of the moon's gravity? Well, your emotions do the same thing. They just splash more dramatically. Psychologists have noticed that people tend to experience more intense emotions during certain moon phases. Mood swings, irritability, romantic longing, existential dread, the whole chaotic menu. The idea is that our bodies, made mostly of water, might experience microtidal effects in response to lunar gravity. Not enough to make your blood slosh around like soup, but enough to subtly tweak hormonal and neural rhythms. Basically, the moon pulls your inner soup just slightly out of alignment. Full moons, in particular, are linked to increased emotional intensity. It's like your amygdala, the emotional drama queen of your brain, gets a cosmic caffeine boost. One moment you're fine, and the next, you're crying because you dropped your sandwich. But here's the wild part. Even if the gravity isn't strong enough to matter, belief itself might be. Humans are psychosomatic sponges. If you believe the full moon makes people weird, your brain obliges. It cues up the emotional turbulence just to stay consistent with the narrative. Your feelings become a self-fulfilling prophecy powered by superstition and serotonin. So next time you find yourself spiraling during a full moon, ask yourself, am I actually sad or just cosmically marinated? Because one way or another, the moon's pulling strings, whether it's gravity, hormones, or just good old human imagination running wild. Number 6. The crime wave that shouldn't exist. All right, let's talk about something straight out of a cop show. The mysterious full moon crime surge. Every police department has that one officer who swears the full moon brings out the weirdos. They'll tell you, full moon nights? Kah, oh yeah, that's when the real freaky stuff happens. And statistically, it's kinda true, but also kinda not, which makes it even creepier. Some studies claim there's no consistent evidence linking the full moon to spikes in crime, ER visits, or public meltdowns. But others, especially localized reports, say otherwise. More violence, more accidents, more arrests. Basically, humanity collectively forgets how to behave once a glowing circle hits 100% brightness. It's like the moon flips a switch that says, "Release the chaos." In Florida, of course it's Florida, police once tried to prepare by scheduling extra patrols during full moons. Not because they believed in werewolves, but because they'd seen enough naked people chasing lawnmowers at midnight to know something was up. So what's going on? One theory is visibility. A brighter night makes people stay out longer, drink more, and get into more trouble. Another says the moon subtly affects sleep cycles and emotional control, which in turn makes humans dumber. A perfect recipe for why am I in jail? Stories. In the end, it doesn't even matter if the stats fully back it up. The pattern is felt. The moon glows brighter, and so does human absurdity. Maybe it's a psychological suggestion. Maybe it's biological. Maybe it's just cosmic trolling. Either way, if you ever need a night to make a bad decision sound poetic, do it under the full moon. At least then you can say, it wasn't me. It was lunar interference. Number 5. The Sleepwalker's Spotlight. Here's where things get properly uncanny. The moon seems to wake up the sleepwalkers. Sleepwalking is already one of those freaky phenomena that make you question whether your brain has a secret second job. You think you're resting, but your subconscious is out here making sandwiches or reorganizing your spice rack at 2 a.m. Now, researchers have found that episodes of parasomnia, that's the category sleepwalking falls under, tend to increase around full moons. It's as if your brain gets just enough lunar light to say, ah, yes. Let's go for a stroll in our pajamas. The theory is that the full moon slightly reduces melatonin and disrupts REM cycles, making people hover in this half-asleep limbo where motor control reactivates but rational thought stays on vacation. So you're moving, but you're not there. Ancient folklore called this being moon-touched. They believed the moon could literally pull your soul from your body at night, making you wander under its glow. Science calls that superstition, but let's be honest, it's hard not to feel a little haunted watching someone shuffle silently through a hallway with their eyes open but their mind elsewhere. And get this, even animals experience something similar. Studies show that marine life, nocturnal mammals, and even birds change their sleep or migration patterns during the full moon, like the entire planet briefly wakes up to say hi, and then goes back to pretending it's normal. Basically, during a full moon, your brain's sleep software runs a buggy update, and sometimes it clicks, install now, while you're still unconscious. Number 4. The birth surge. Here's one for the unsettling but fascinating category. People have long claimed that more babies are born during full moons. Hospitals used to even staff extra nurses because of it. Now, modern studies say that overall, there isn't a consistent spike in all births. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find something odd. Certain subsets do rise slightly, particularly natural, uninduced labors. It's like the moon gives a gentle nudge to wombs that were already on the edge of action. The gravitational pull explanation comes up again, because why not? If the moon can move oceans, it might also shift a few gallons of amniotic fluid. Human bodies are, after all, walking tide pools. And when that cosmic tug hits just right, nature decides, yep, now's the time. Even if that's not entirely proven, the cultural connection is so old, it's practically genetic memory. For millennia, farmers, midwives, and spiritual healers tracked the moon's phases to predict fertility, conception, and birth. Ancient Chinese texts, Mayan calendars, medieval almanacs, all full of moon baby math. It's as if every generation of humans kept watching the sky and noticing the same mysterious rhythm between that glowing orb and new life beginning on Earth. So even if it's coincidence, it's one that's lasted tens of thousands of years. Which is either statistically fascinating or cosmically planned. Take your pick. Number 3. The predator's playground. Here's where it gets primal. The moon doesn't just influence humans, it shapes the entire rhythm of life on Earth. Every animal, from crabs to coyotes, adjusts its behavior to lunar light. During full moons, prey species, like small mammals and fish, hide more because it's brighter. Predators, meanwhile, get more active because they can see better. It's a monthly arms race between eat and don't get eaten. Humans, being the overconfident primates we are, still have remnants of this instinct. Our brains are wired to associate brightness at night with visibility, and visibility means vulnerability. Under that eerie silver glow, your subconscious whispers, "You're exposed." It's the reason campfire stories feel creepier under a full moon. Your body's ancient survival software is running diagnostics while you're pretending to enjoy the s'mores. Studies even suggest humans show slightly heightened vigilance, anxiety, and faster reaction times during full moons, as if our nervous systems still expect a saber-toothed tiger to crash the party. So when your heart races for no reason under that glowing sky, don't worry, it's not ghosts. It's just evolution screaming from your amygdala. The night's too bright. Something's watching. Basically, the moon turns the whole world into a live episode of Planet Earth. Paranoia Edition. Number 2. The Mirror of Madness. If you've ever stared at the full moon and felt off, like reality itself got slightly detuned, congratulations. You've felt the same weirdness that's haunted humanity for thousands of years. The moon has always been the mirror of the mind. It doesn't emit its own light, it reflects. And for some reason, humans do the same thing right back. We project onto it everything we don't understand about ourselves. Ancient civilizations believed the moon could pull on human emotions, dreams, even sanity. The Greeks blamed it for seizures. The Romans thought it triggered madness. Medieval doctors used to prescribe moon cures as if your depression was just an astrology problem. And yet, even today, emergency rooms quietly brace themselves every 28 days. In psychological terms, the moon serves as a collective Rorschach test, a giant, glowing ink blot for human consciousness. When things feel strange, the moon becomes an easy villain. When people act wild, we say, must be the moon. It's superstition wrapped around an actual biological rhythm. But here's the fun twist. The human brain is a rhythm junkie. It loves cycles, day and night, hunger and fullness, sleep and wake, anxiety and calm. The moon provides one of the oldest visible patterns we've ever known. Even if you ignore it, your biology doesn't. Deep down, your circadian clock ticks to a melody the moon helped compose. And when that rhythm shifts, when the light is brighter, shadows are longer, and your hormones wobble, your brain picks up the signal and asks, should I panic? The moon doesn't cause madness. It just holds up a shiny mirror and whispers, you were already weird. Number 1. The Invisible Puppeteer. Now here's the grand finale, the most chilling truth of all. Even if you don't believe the moon affects you, it already does. Quietly, constantly, invisibly. The moon's gravity doesn't just move tides. It subtly shifts the entire atmosphere, altering air pressure and humidity. Your body, filled with water, electrolytes, and chemical balance, feels those shifts, not enough for you to notice consciously, but enough for your biological systems to respond. Some research even hints at micro-level lunar entrainment, meaning certain human biological processes, from cell regeneration to hormone release, may follow faint 29. 5-day rhythms. Basically, your body has moon-coded software running in the background like some cosmic operating system. It's also not a coincidence that many traditional calendars, religious rituals, and even agricultural cycles are lunar-based. For most of human history, we didn't separate the world from the sky. We lived in sync with the moon's pulse. When it disappeared, we rested. When it returned, we acted. Now, we drown it in neon light and forget it's there. But it hasn't forgotten us. Every sleepless night, every emotional tide, every unexplained mood swing under the glow, the moon is still up there, tugging silently at your fluids, your hormones, your sanity. It doesn't need to roar or thunder or burn. It just pulls, patiently, predictably, persistently. You can call it myth, or you can call it physics wearing a spooky mask. Either way, the next time you catch yourself behaving a little strange, just look up and remember, you're not crazy. You're just another creature dancing to the oldest gravitational rhythm on Earth. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.